So let's talk about the actual clothing I'll be wearing. Of course, I'm wearing it right now for the video, but it is pretty simple. For my pants, I'm wearing these G3 pants made by Emerson and ATAX FG. I've had many experiences with G3 pants from Emerson, and I gotta say, they're actually really good. I've had woodland pants that I really abused, and I got these to obviously match the kit, and I am really happy about it. These are nice, they're comfortable, and they're, I guess, relatively affordable. Combat shirt in Russian EMR. Don't really know too much about it. Now, talking about the boots, these boots right here, again, I really don't know too much about these. I got pretty lucky at a surplus store to find them. They fit my foot really well because they're in a wide size and they're comfortable enough. I ran them a few times and I got a really good deal on them because they were used, of course. So I'll be using them again, and I probably will use them until they absolutely explode. Okay, let's begin talking about my LBE setup. We'll go in depth. This is an SSO Smersh. It's one of the newer generations. The way you see it right now, it's set up for PKM usage, hence why you see the two PKM pouches. We're gonna go from one side to the other, and I'll explain you what everything does and why it's there. Beginning with this pouch over here, on my most inner size, you're gonna see that I carry magazines. And the problem is that SVD magazines are pretty wide, therefore in the regular AK pouches they kind of work, but they also don't. So I'm trying to be creative and find a way to make it work. These Smersh AK pouches, that they also include two fragmentation pouches on each side. In this one specifically, I carry a headlamp. So this headlamp light is nice because one click gives you a red light, and clicking it again makes the red light become brighter. Then holding the button gives you a white light, which if you click again, it gives you a brighter white light. So obviously essential for any nighttime operation. Inside this little piece of webbing, I have a multi-tool. This is a Leatherman, which is one of my favorite multi-tool. This is very nice. It has this black finish on it. Wire cutters, scissors. It's a very good option. It's pretty bomb-proof. So this pouch over here, it's supposed to be another magazine pouch, but it is repurposed for a couple things. So I have a divider in here. The first thing that I have against my body is going to be a radio. So the radio is wired to a push-to-talk that goes up the harness. This radio is just a standard bow fan. The one thing I did was I have this 3D printed guard that allows you to not accidentally hit the push-to-talk button. So if it's crammed in a pouch, it's not gonna keep pressing all the time. It also shields the volume adjustment button in case you bump it on or off. And then I have this rubber band that kind of keeps some tension on this PTT, which is kind of finicky, and I've had issues with it in the past. So I'm trying to mitigate that. I'm using the big battery as well. In the front of the pouch, I have this little sleeve that holds a prescription safety glasses. So these match my eye prescription, and yeah, pretty simple. To the back frag pouch, this is where I keep a compass, which is tethered to the rig itself. It is an inexpensive compass, but I think it will be good enough for the very basic orientation and navigation that I'll be doing. Next up, we have this PKM pouch. I have tethered to it some gloves in case I do want gloves. Inside of it, I keep this one empty, and it kind of acts as a dump pouch in case I need to throw anything in it. So let's talk about this. So this elastic band, which is reversible for both orange and ibis yellow, it has been seen by Russians, and the way I have it on here is for PID. The reason being, it's because from afar, ATAX is very, very easily mistaken by multicam. So it's nice to have a very slap in your face PID for people behind you, which are supposed to be your allies. Therefore, hopefully avoiding getting shot in the back of the head, which is going to be nice. Speaking of which, I don't know if I'll be having this constantly on or off. It's something that I'll decide at the time, but it's there for now. Moving on, the next PKM pouch, it's mostly empty. What it does have inside is a film camera. So I'm going to be doing some some photography with this older film camera that I found at my grandma's house, and now I have it, and it's a point and shoot 35mm film cameras, which hopefully I plan to take some pretty cool pictures with. We're gonna have another one of these frag pouches. What I have in here is some miscellaneous tools. So you're gonna see I have a lighter here. I have a little set of Allen keys in case I have to fix anything. And then in there I have some zip ties. Again, very basic preventative maintenance will probably make this pouch useless, but it's nice to have. This next AK magazine pouch holds a full-size Nalgene bottle, which is, it's very nice to have a full liter of water on your body at all time. And I mean, water is heavy, so that's something to consider, but this fits snugly in here, and that's what it's gonna be. Next pouch, again, another set of magazines. Nothing special about this. Lastly, in this little frag pouch, I have some caffeinated gum. So this stuff, I actually got the suggestion from Brand YouTube channel. He recommended these. Hopefully, these are gonna be really nice. These are 100 milligrams of caffeine per gum, which, you know, if you have two, it's probably damn good enough. It equals to like a Ghost energy drink. So this allows you to not having to drink coffee, which eventually is gonna lead me to shit myself. And on top of that, it allows you to not carry more fluid, which is nice. So I'm excited for this, to try it out. And then in there you can't see it, but I have some of my personal business cards in case people wanna check out what I do on the outside. So a couple more things. I showed you the PTT, nothing special. Another one thing that I have on the harness is a little stashable microfiber towel. I've actually got this suggestion from one of the older Spiritus Systems kit breakdowns from a SEAL guy, and it totally makes a ton of sense. I mean, especially if you wear glasses, it's nice to have the option to having wipe out sweat and moisture. So I try to keep this light, and I try to keep this not bulky, because you really can stuff a bunch of stuff in here. Like you can see how much it expands and how much I did not use all the space. So first of all, it's gonna be a poncho in ATAX. It's gonna be a good emergency weather piece of kit. Kind of goes over your entire gear. It's very open, so it's nice to have. It's not too heavy. Additionally, this is gonna be a wind shirt. So this is a Russian, what they consider a level 4 layer. So it is wind resistant, pretty light fabric. It had some ventilation pockets, and wind shirts are a really, really good piece of kit because they can easily go under your jacket or over a combat shirt like this if you're wearing just this, and they can additionally help with some, if the weather changes and it gets colder than you like, these really help mitigate that. They're light, they pack really nice, and this is a cool piece of kit. I really like it. This is pretty much actually brand new. So lastly, I have a little medical kit. So this is actually the compass pouch that I repurposed, and what it has on the inside is very simple non-emergency medical supplies like ibuprofen, Gas-X, bandages, band-aids, and headache stuff, some creams for burning insects. Very, very basic things that I think are actually gonna be what's gonna be useful at some point. I've had some nasty ant bites that really bothered me for a long time. This is gonna be a Wendy helmet. It is a pretty simple setup. The thing I have is this ATAX FG laser cut scrim, onto which I added pieces of EMR uniform, like my sleeve over here, cut little strips and kind of tie them around the scrim to further break up the edges here. In the front, I have a very cheap GoPro mount that interfaces with the MPG shroud, which houses a GoPro. This thing is a 3D printed lens protector, so I'm gonna have to cut some plexiglass, Lexan, and then it's gonna be a slip fit in here. Flint identification patches for the same reason that I talked about in my LPE overview for identification for friendlies. Again, ATAX gets kind of confusing with multicam at a distance. So this is here. This pouch houses extra batteries for my GoPro. Additionally, I have a strobe. This is the MS2000, and honestly, I don't know if I'll use it, but it's there. It's been on my helmet since I put the helmet together, so it's gonna stay. And that's about it. On the inside, standard Team Wendy harness. The one thing I did modify is some of the paddings I added. These are FMA paddings, they're very affordable. I have a big pad in the middle, which I found a lot more comfortable than whatever setup was there before, which created a hot spot after some longer period of use, and I figured that out. This is a piece of kit that I'm actually really excited about. It is a smock in ATAX FG. I'm not gonna go massively in depth on this because I have other plans for it, but I gotta say, it is probably my favorite piece of tactical gear I've bought in however long I can remember. It is made by a company called Leo Kohler, which is based out of Germany. These things are very, very, very rare, and I got really lucky in finding it. It fits the kit perfectly, and it's an incredible piece of kit. It has a ton of features, it's comfortable, and it's very interesting. I think there is still a lot I need to learn about on the backstory of this, but what it is pretty much a BDU jacket on steroids. So as you can see, the back panel is just one layer of ripstop Cordura fabric like you would see in any BDU top. But things get exponentially more complex in the front. We have massive pockets in the front, and the pockets wrap around all the way in the back. As you can see, this is a massive pocket. And then you have pockets in the arms, elbow pads, you have massive ventilation zippers in the armpits, you have side pockets on the chest. You can use a zipper, but you can also use just the buttons for ventilation. The hood has all kinds of adjustability and a metal ring on the inside to conform it however you like. And yeah, I'm really excited to try this out and put it through some decent pacing. It's not cheap by any means, but this is something that'll probably stay with me for a while. This time I'll be using this SVDS. It is kind of an unusual choice. The reason I went with it's simply because I think it's one of the coolest comm block guns ever made, especially with the folding stock. And also I like the fact that airsoft gun allow you the chance to try all kinds of different guns very inexpensively that you will never be able to own real unless you're mega wealthy. But I honestly don't even know if these are available as a real platform. As I mentioned, the stock does fold. You kind of have to slam it a little bit, and then you can just depress this to open it. It has the cheek riser, which you can twist and turn to fit your cheek weld better. One thing I do have here is I mounted a Picatinny piece, and this holds my white light holder mount. The white light is not currently here because it is on my home defense rifle. Therefore, it will stay there until it's necessary. The sling, I am a big fan of these very simple webbings. Strings, I don't like padding. The simpler the better. This does have a quick adjust system, which is very nice. And I like it. It's very simple. It's kind of hold up a little ratty, so it has some paracord and zip tie here, and then there is a proper sling mount in the back. But I really like this kind of sling. It's quick to adjust. It keeps the gun stuck back to your body. It's comfortable, and yeah, so pretty simple setup, nothing crazy. We're getting into the rucksack section of the video. Let's open it up and kind of walk through what I am packing for 2 days worth of sustainment. It is a very standard US Alice size large. Now, Right off the bat, you can see that the buckles have been changed with modern buckles. This is a very simple modification that requires just cutting the old metal ones and then sliding the webbing through the newer buckles. Very simple, and obviously something that if you have an Alice and you keep on using it still, absolutely you should do. This is a pad from Walmart. It is pretty comfortable and inexpensive, so it's a win for me and I'm gonna use it. Now, the lid itself, it is spray painted with Flexio, the spray paint Flexio, and two main reasons. First of all, this lid was very damaged, and this pretty much restores it perfectly. This is incredible. Like, the adhesion and flexibility is awesome, and as an added benefit, it is waterproof, so that's a plus. This pouch here holds another pair of safety glasses. Middle pouch is gonna hold a couple things. Goddamn. Okay. First one is gonna be just some paracord, and here is some tent poles. While I'm not using this for tent, these might come in handy for setting up a tarp. So I have these in here in case I have to set up a tarp for shelter. Lastly, one of this pouch is gonna hold an emergency blanket for extreme cold temperature, just in case. The middle pouch is empty at the moment. I'm keeping it possibly for packing out my trash or dirty clothes. In this pouch, I have a Ziploc bag, which at this time holds a battery bank. It will also hold extra batteries for my rifle. On each side of the rack, there is gonna be a canteen pouch, which is gonna hold a obviously water-filled canteen. So this is gonna be one on this side and one on this side. This other pouch here is gonna have a waterproof cover for the pack itself. It's kind of nice because it stows on itself in this pouch and it's very lightweight. The first thing that is gonna flop out is this compression sack. This compression sack is waterproof, and the purpose of this is gonna be holding additional clothing. The way I wanna set this up is that there's gonna be clothing that I'm gonna be using more, so socks, and mostly socks and t-shirts are gonna be on top. I don't have those in at the moment. What I do have here is a Gore-Tex jacket in M81. It's old and I've used it all the time, so good piece of emergency kit. Additionally, I'm gonna have an extra pair of pants just in case. These are pants in Russian EMR that I have kind of tri-folded. And yeah, they're actually really, really comfortable. They are an equivalent of an ACU cut for American standards. Inside, next, is gonna be a leaf suit. So this is both tops and bottom of oversuit, ghillie suit, which is very light and breathable, and I probably plan on using during the daytime specifically. What I have done is I kind of hit this with a light coat of spray paint. You probably won't even be able to see on camera, but it kind of helps dim that little shiny finish that these cheaper products have. Inside the rucksack, in here, there's gonna be a secondary pouch or compartment, however you wanna call it. First thing that is gonna come out of this, it's gonna be a insulated jacket. This is not specifically any military piece. It's an Arc'teryx Atom jacket. Again, not the cheapest piece of kit, but this thing is pretty incredible. I obviously wore them in many places, in many environments, but it is insulated, and the reason why it's in there is if at night I get cold, I've slept in it and it's super comfortable and it really keeps you warm. Speaking of which, the fleece USMC beanie is absolutely S tier piece of kit. It is super comfortable, keeps your head incredibly warm, and it's just a really cozy piece of kit for those cold nights. So toiletries, really important. The way I have my toiletries, I have some combat wipes for wiping that sweaty grime off of you at the end of the day. You're not gonna see a toothbrush in here because I don't have it yet. I have to get one. Toothpaste, hand sanitizer before eating, some baby powder, which is very nice to deep fry your armpits and ball sack. Also, contact lenses I'll be wearing at some point, so I need supplies for those. Here comes my sleeping bag. It is not anything ultra fancy, it's just a pretty it's an Amazon find of a sleeping bag. It's okay. The one thing I did do is that this is gonna be the top where your head is. It has this sleeve, therefore inside of here I store a inflatable pillow, right? So it packs in nice, it doesn't get in the way. When I want it, I can pull it out. You just like blow it up with your mouth and you can just gain some comfort at not much of an expense in terms of weight and space. So as you can see, it just slides in this pouch, and then what I could do is just stuff this back in. Baby covers, I'll be honest, I have not used one of these before. So I got this surplus, as you can see, in the beautiful UCP camo, which is great because surplus in UCP is extremely cheap. But this is a Gore-Tex baby cover. It's spacious enough for my sleeping bag. It's gonna keep the sleeping bag dry and yourself dry. It's gonna add some, I guess, temperature mitigation. So nice to have. Everybody uses these. It's gonna be my time to try it. Hopefully it'll work out well. The one annoying thing is that since the sleeping bag is a commercial piece and this is a military piece, they're not a match set by any means. Therefore, the zippers are on opposite sides. So you kind of have to zip one side and then zip the other side, and it's kind of weird, but it's okay, we deal with it. Very last thing is gonna be a tarp. Very inexpensive Harbor Freight tarp. So fake M81 camel woodland. Couple things on the pack itself. I had this top handle, which is arguably not that useful. The waist belt is actually tucked in underneath here because with the Smursh and the butt pack, I won't be able to use it. It's not the most comfortable setup by any means, but it's okay, it's fine. And then, as I mentioned before, that strap is connected to the frame and runs on the side here. So now, let's talk about some food. Very important piece of kit. Let's dive into it. I have it all in this box right now. It's still a bit of a work in progress. I don't know if I'll take everything. Let's get this out of the way. I don't know what the fuck this is. Fruit Loops mini bagels. This is absolute insanity. I don't know why I bought them. I thought it'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're bagels. They'll fill you up, I guess. Now, for the main meals, so these MREs, there's actually the full packaging, but what I did is I broke these down into these compact, kind of compact selections. So this is gonna have what I actually want out of the MRE, which is gonna be the heating pad, the actual meal pouch, and a couple other things that came extra. So it's all kind of encompassed in here. Another things that I might take or might not, there's other things in MREs like mango, peach, applesauce, which is probably fine. Some extra sugar and calories is not bad. One thing I will mention about food is that it is important to get an understanding on how much food you need. I am pretty well aware of the calorie requirements I need, if I want to surplus, if I want to deficit. So this is very tailored to myself. So hopefully you guys can take some inspiration, but you really got to do the calculation yourself based on your body and figure out what you need. So second pouch, another MRE. So this is beef shredded in barbecue sauce. The other one was some pasta with tomato sauce. And again, another pouch separated by this. And then as an extra for this one, we have some chocolate protein drink powder, which you mix water, it's fine. We'll send it. These are reusable Ziploc bags, which a lot of the contents of the food will be opened and distributed about across these, because I'm not gonna take the whole packaging. Obviously, I'm not gonna do that until it is needed. Organic banana covered in chocolate. Very good snack, which is sweet, some sugar, some good sugar at least, and ingredients are great. It's all organic, so I like these. They're a good snack. For lunch, these are fucking awesome. Tuna and pasta and vegetable mixed together in a pouch. 3 is a lot. I don't think I need all of these, but I got them anyway. It's good to have. And these are awesome. You get 200 calories a pouch, 10 to 20 grams of protein. Actually, probably a little less than 20, but regardless. They're very good and they're very light and they pack really nice. So these are really good. Beef jerky, it's okay, high in protein, high in sodium, will probably make you thirsty, but it's something good to snack on that I usually tend to bring. Breakfast, I have Cliff Bars. I don't necessarily think these are the best protein or nutrient bars by any means, but it's what I had. They're okay, they're about 200 calories each. They have actually a decent amount of sugar, so I think they push 17 total grams of sugar, which is kind of a lot for something this small, but it is what it is. I'm not worried about it at the moment. So I have a few of these. I don't know how much I'll take. I have another reload of that caffeine gum I talked to you guys about in the LB section of the video. And then, quite importantly, I have some hydration powder. So this stuff is good because a lot of the times the water you drink doesn't actually hydrate your body. I know that happens to me sometimes, so you just end up drinking a ton of water and it doesn't actually help you. So some of this stuff is good for electrolytes and replenishing your hydration.